So how does one escape the soul trap? Now I'm just going to be thinking about different theories and ideas. I'm not saying any of this is true or not, but I have been thinking about this. And the soul is the psyche. The soul is the mind. The soul is your identity and everything involved with your personal life here, with your avatar, with your identities in this realm. Everything, whether it's gender, male, female. I know I said that. Man, it's really constricting my brain right now, my psyche, my soul. It's trapping that right now because it's not allowing me to speak. Okay, so your identities, which is male, female, or any other gender you want to throw in there. Son, daughter, mother, father, grandmother, grandfather, what country you are, what country you're in. Just bear with me here. What country you live in, what race you are, what political affiliation you believe in, what sports team is your sports team, what your job is, what your career is, what your hobbies, what you're passionate about in this life, everything involving this human kingdom. Every identity that you have within this human kingdom, that is the soul. That is the trap. That is when you leave, you cannot be those things anymore. You cannot be the doctor. You cannot be the chef who cooks people delicious food. You cannot be a wonderful husband or the best dad, or even the worst, even the worst of all those things. Whatever it is, you can no longer be those things. So when you leave, you have a choice. Have you successfully detached from the identities that go deep of this realm? Or are you going to get trapped and stopped? And since you believe in these identities, they can hook you back in here. They can hook you with your children or the bad things that you did, or you can change the world, you can do this, you can do that, because you're dealing with the psyche, the soul. That is the trap. The trap is you have not successfully detached yourself from this human experience, because in the great vastness of reality, true reality, these are the most lowly of lows here, the most lowly of lows that only exist here. How would you be a father or a mother in a realm where you don't have any sexual organs to birth children into? You can't, you won't. It just exists here. How will you be that all-star quarterback in the NFL or in your high school years that you just can't let go of? You can't, you won't. How will you take the job of 50 years with you, punching that clock for 50 years, and that was your whole identity? How are you going to take that out of this place? You can't, you won't. This place is an illusion, and the identities that we put into this illusion only serve to keep us trapped in this illusion. You see what I'm saying? And the illusion right now for me is I'm on my way to a continuing education for my illusory job that I have to do and pay this illusory money. That's another thing. Money is a illusion. that dictates to you what your illusion will be here, how comfortable your illusion's going to be. How are they going to entice you with money when you leave this place? People get so trapped in money and all the things they can do with money, which are just pleasing the animal nature of a lowly state of consciousness and fulfilling all its lusts and comforts. You won't need any money outside of the soul trap. So if they come to you and say, we'll give you all the money you can ask for, we're going to make your life so comfortable and you're going to do all these thrilling and lustful things, they're talking to your psyche. They're talking to your human identity, the identity of the human that can only exist here. You're not a human. Once you leave here, realize, I'm not a human meat monkey. I'm not this thing. I'm not the psyche. But I do think that it's important to remember the experiences here, but do not attach them to yourself. As in, don't forget about the sufferings here, because that is a key insight into remembering what this whole experience was about. But do not believe it is you. You are much more than that. Much more than that. You go beyond the psyche. You go beyond the soul. They can only trap the soul. If there is a mechanism to trap, it is only the false identities that you have been led to believe are you. And if you believe you are these false identities, those are the things that are going to be trapped. They can't trap a boundless spirit with no limits, so to say. So perhaps how we got trapped in the first place is whoever they are, somehow got us to believe we were the false identities of the soul. That is the only way that we could have been trapped if we are not created. I'm just exploring theories here. If we're not created and there was a means to entrap us, the only way that could have happened is if they presented a false identity to us to trap. Now, I don't know if you can understand what I'm saying. Hopefully you do. Because I totally get what I'm saying. I totally get it. Hopefully I don't miss my exit. Okay, we're still good. So, think of it like a video game, because it's easy to understand. They presented to you this avatar in this simulation, so to say. But it's a much more complex thing than a video game. I'm just saying, as an easy way to understand. You said, okay, that I am that person now. I am that person in the game with all of its identities. And each time I identify with any of the anchors of this realm, I am further entrapping my spirit here. I'm further entrapping my true nature into the illusion with these identities, with the soul psyches that keep me trapped here, that keep me hooked here. And they can only work with that. They can only work with the soul psyche of the false identity. When you expand and transcend past everything about being human, everything about this world, and go into that, and go into what's beyond here. And we don't even have the words truly for that. But I don't want to keep repeating myself, okay? perhaps that the soul psyche, the identities. I want to drill this in your head. The false identities that you put on each and every day that keep you anchored here, keep you believing in this place. That is the only thing that can be trapped, because it only exists here. And once you take off those clothes, so to say, those are the chains, those are the shackles. That is the trap that you have successfully spread the jaws of the bear trap on your foot and stepped out of the human condition. And there are no lusts or desires of that human condition or the identities of that will keep you trapped any longer. You must hate this world. Hate means, yeah, you can despise it. It's terrible. But hate as in you must fully turn away from it all. There must be nothing above your liberation from this place. Society and culture must be turned away from. Social norms of being human must be turned away from. Human itself and humanitarianism, it's a hard word to say, must be turned away from. Any hope in this world must be turned away from. Any building of a kingdom in this place for you or for future generations must be turned away from. Anything in the future of your next incarnation, if you're thinking about that, must be turned away from. It all must be turned away from. And that is you taking off the bear trap and stepping out of the human condition, resulting in you not having a soul to trap. But it may be with you, but it's not attached to you, so that you can see and remember your experience, but it wasn't you. It was the suit of clothes that you wore, and that suit of clothes was a tremendous suffering, torture shell that they encaged you in. And you can see the shell of all the other torture bodies, and you're not forgetting that. But you're not saying that necessarily is you. That was just the physical set of clothes that you had on. It's really hard to explain, but I think this may be something worth discussing more and longer. But I am on my way to this continuing education class for the weekend, so maybe I'll touch more upon it when I have more time. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. And I know I'm not saying anything revolutionary, probably other people have said this too, but when you come to it yourself, when you come to it within yourself, it is a powerful experience. You listening to me isn't as powerful as you yourself but knowing within yourself the things that I'm talking about, or the things that I can't even put into words, but you know what I mean. I cannot tell you, only you can know it for yourself. And who is yourself? You're not who you think you are.